Hello and welcome to what is hopefully the first episode of a new podcast by Rooster Teeth Productions. This one's called kFace, and it stars myself, Jeff Ramsey, co-creator of Rooster Teeth, and my two co-workers and, more importantly, lifelong friends, Gavin Free.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. And Andrew Panton.
Hello.
I actually thought about calling this the Andrew Podcast, just calling it Andrew, no other explanation, but that didn't seem dumb enough, and so I thought, why not name, well, first off, the point of Rooster Teeth Productions is, as a production company, is to make money. We make a lot of podcasts, a lot of content on the internet. Millions and millions of people across the world tune in, thankfully. And so I think the ultimate face is to call a podcast that needs to sell advertisements an unsellable name.
In a super oversaturated market where there's a certain amount of money to go around and there's a billion podcasts, and this one's called kFace.
Yes, there are over 1 million podcasts in existence right now, I believe. And as far as I know, this is the only one called kFace. Now, that might mean we're brilliant, but it probably doesn't.
I checked the podcast charts yesterday to see the closest or the highest ranking podcast I could find that blanks its own name. It's like 126. So we got a shot. We could run the hundreds.
Okay.
It's possible. I will say, I'm really glad you didn't go with Andrew, because I mentioned at the time, if you did, I would feel obligated to change my name. Because it would be really funny if we had a podcast called Andrew and nobody on it was called Andrew. Like, the further it went, the funnier it would become. And when I ran that idea by my mom, she cried. So that would have been a problem. She was very committed to the name.
I like the idea of you're going down to the courthouse. It's like, why are you changing your name? It's because, well, the new name isn't a podcast.
It's a great bit. You'd have to do it.
What is your face tattoo story?
Well, the conversation on the podcast was, you were saying, Gavin, would you be willing to take $1 million to have a company advertise on your face? Like, would that be an exchange you'd be willing to make? And as someone who did that, I made it wasn't even a bet, which is probably the worst part. I'm someone, if I declare something, I'll own up to it. And it was a college football game, I think, right, Jeff? I think it was Alabama versus Auburn. And I said if Alabama lost, I would get a temporary Mike Tyson face tattoo, wear it every day of the week for the next week. And they blew it. They threw multiple interceptions. They threw a pick six. It was terrible. And so now I felt locked in to having this Mike Tyson tattoo.
I like the first face story is that you faced your face.
Yeah, you fucking did. But it was fascinating, Jeff, you talking about it. I never even considered, you obviously have tons of tattoos. Are you aware of your tattoos? Like, when you walk around, are you mindful of what they are and that you have them?
No, not at all. You get tattooed when you have enough tattoos. You start to get tattoo blindness. I don't even think about it. I forget that I have tattoos, and sometimes if I walk by a mirror or something, not at home, but if I'm and obviously not outside because nobody leaves their house anymore. But if I were to walk by downtown and a window, like a department store or something, you see a reflection. If I see myself with tattoos, even though I'm 44 and I've had tattoos since I was 18, it still catches me off guard sometimes. And I'm like, what the? Oh, right, that's me. I'm that guy. What was the embarrassing thing that happened to you?
This is embarrassing on a level that isn't even related to the tattoo. I don't understand how hair works. I don't know how to communicate how I want my hair cut. So I've had 3 stylists my entire life. One when I was a kid, and then one when I was middle age, and I went to that guy literally until he died. And now I went to this third guy. This is how it goes. I meet a guy, we come to an agreement on what it'll look like. If I like it, then that just becomes the thing, and I just say, just give me what I normally get. Because I don't know how to verbally communicate what I actually want. The problem is that guy switched. He was stressed working at a salon, so he switched to work in a retirement home. So I get my hair cut at a retirement home, which is not a place you want to go to with a Mike Tyson tattoo. I really should have.
Or at all, right? Not a place you can go right now, right?
No, that's another problem. I have no idea when I'll be able to get my hair cut. No clue. It could be months. You talked about the GoFundMe idea. That's an interesting approach. I wanted to see how viable this concept actually was. So I reached out to like 30 companies, I'd say, pitching them if they would be interested in advertising via face tattoo.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I sent out emails. I sent out DMs. I reached out to a lot of big companies, and I got replies. I got some responses. Tide came in immediately and gave me opinions on the viability.
The detergent company?
Tide, the detergent company. Yeah, they had some thoughts. They were on the ball. I got to give them credit for their customer service. Very quick to respond. They were next day. Everybody else a little bit slower. I can say as of today, for potential sponsors, we can rule out Coca-Cola and Lego. Not that interested. Coca-Cola refuses to give me their agency addresses. They say they do all their advertising through agencies, and they will not give that information as to where they will be filming. And Lego called it a unique partnership that they appreciate, but they're not interested at this current time. So...
Now, here's my new charge to you, sir. I would like to see you grow out a normal, like what Andrew's actual mustache would look like, not one that you super glued to your face and were stuck with for however long that was. What was the story behind that? Why did you have that mustache?
We were having a family dinner party, and somebody bought a bunch of goofy mustaches, and the natural adhesive didn't really stick to my lip, so I used like Gorilla Glue to lock it in place.
Christ.
And I thought it was like, great, it's now locked in, and it was really locked in. And it became a problem. I could not get it off.
So did you just have to wait until your skin just regenerated enough times until it dropped off? How does that work?
I had it for like a day and a half, and I got rid of it by going to a store and getting nail polish remover. And then
so you had to go to a store with it on.
Oh, yeah. No, I was in public with that thing on. I got more looks about the face tattoo than the mustache.
Okay.
What? Gorilla Glue? Dude.
It's the glue we had. I needed a good adhesive.
You had a racket going where you were selling access to your island, for Christ's sake.
It wasn't my island, first of all. And second of all,
That's even worse.
It was... Well, no. We're dealing with millionaires here, Geoff, okay? Every trip, people would come in, they'd make like 2.5 million bells. I was just asking for a little taste. Just a little taste.
Do you want to explain to Gavin how that worked?
I had a friend who got 625 prices. And this was early on in the game. This was like week 3 of it being
Yeah,
out.
it was like a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. People were really into it. And it was on a Tuesday, so like everyone still had their turnips. And they're an idiot and couldn't figure out how to make fences. Because I guess when you do that to prevent people from just like running all over and creating havoc on your island, you have to kind of fence a path from the airport to the store. And he didn't know how to make fences, so I gave him 200 fences in exchange for 10% of whatever he made. But he's completely incompetent. And he made the worst path. He couldn't figure out how to place the fences, so it went like 50 yards to the right, and then it curved up, and then it went left, and then up, and then right. It was like a fucking Spartan course. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was just a nightmare. And he couldn't organize it himself, so then I came in, and we had a 2-bodyguard system.
It was clearly very unorganized because I was talking to you while this was going on, and you were sort of giving me updates every 10 or so minutes, but you were it was every 10 minutes because you were just deep in the thick of it. And I was like, oh my God, are you like streaming this anywhere? And you said you weren't, but the guy whose island it was, right, was streaming a different game, but it was your audio coming through the stream?
Yeah, I didn't have a way to set up my Switch to like stream, so I had someone stream our party because we're using an Xbox party. And so you could hear our audio.
Yeah, you sent me the link and it was just like footage of a different game. But all I could hear in the background was you being like, no, put that thing down there. Okay, this person in red, they haven't paid. That one. And it was just screaming about everything. It was like, it sounded like absolute chaos. I think that the fact that I couldn't see what was happening made it so funny. Like the moment I clicked the link, I just rolled onto the floor laughing at how much chaos it was.
I yelled for 3 hours straight. It is the most exhausted I've ever been.
How much money did you guys make?
I think 4 million between the two of us. I think we both split 2 million each.
But I thought it was 10%.
No, yeah, well, see, that's the thing. He's an idiot. He couldn't run it by himself. So I was there. You hearing me yell was yelling at him because he built the fucking most complicated course you could imagine. And then people had to drop stuff, and he didn't empty his inventory, and there's no way to store things. So he had like 2 spots, And then my game crashed and I came back in and he just dropped all of his shit where they dropped the money. So then I had to pick that. It was a fucking gong show. It was terrible. It was me yelling for 2 hours. I went to bed at like 8:30 p.m. because I just didn't feel like I had a soul. I was just done.
I put it on, I think Meg came in because I was laughing, and it was just up on my TV at like pretty loud volume, and she was like, "Who's yelling?" And then she was like, "Is that Andrew Panton?" And I think all of her interactions with you have been you in like calm, very pleasant, and she was like, "What is he screaming about?"
I don't think I have anything like that. I don't think I've ever gone all in on a movie. It's like if I'm buying something dumb like that, it's gonna be cheap.
I don't know if it's because we're recording this podcast. I threw up in my mouth.
Did you really?
I just threw up. It wasn't even for any reason. It was just a bad burp.
You okay?
I can't think of a better place to end it than Gavin throwing up in his mouth. Two millennial idiots.
Hello. Hey. That's not very nice, is it?
How dare you call Canada's greatest gamer a millennial idiot? What an insult.
How dare someone fart about with their microphone for 15 minutes like a total boomer and then come at us with millennials?
Dude, if I was a boomer, we still wouldn't be recording right now. It's only because of my Gen X sensibilities that I was able to overcome all of these technical problems, which, by the way, I have every day.
I like I go into defensive mode when I get called a millennial, but it's like, well, I am a millennial.
I'm looking at the Bill Ripken face card right now. Anyway, the story behind that, for years and years and years, has been that Billy Ripken was a young player at the time, and he was on the same team as his older brother, who was much more famous and successful as a baseball player than him. And Billy got a lot of good-natured ribbing because of that. And the story that Billy propagated was that somebody played a prank on him and wrote face on the bat, and he had no clue. But the other night, during my bout of insomnia, I was reading about it, and I found out, and this will be particularly interesting to you, I think, Andrew, Bill Ripken admitted some 20 years later that he wrote face on the bat. He faced himself.
That's incredible.
So, like, the pseudo inspiration for the name of this podcast and the fact that we use it as a noun to describe a thing that we do, he actually did unintentionally in the creating of the card. He was saying that it was a practice bat, and he liked to use a certain wood grain practice bat, and there were only a few of them, and they would get, after batting practice, they get thrown into a big, barrel full of bats, and it's hard to find the one that you want. And so he wanted to write something on the bottom of the bat to make it noticeable really easily, instead of just writing, like, BR or whatever. So he wrote face as a joke, so that he would always know it was his practice bat. And then he just forgot about it and took the photo, didn't even cross his mind that it was the face bat. Then, when the picture came out and it became this controversy, he got scared, essentially, and pretended that somebody had played a prank on him, which everybody would believe. So the inception of facing was tied to this card, at least in my mind, which I found out later, Billy Ripken faced himself. As far as the other thing, Gavin, I'm sorry that I've been playing or opening baseball and basketball cards with Andrew, and we didn't include you.
You know, it's fine. I've aged out. I get it.
No, you've aged out. You're in your 30s now. You're no longer young enough for my friendship. I would also like to point out that when I turned 40, Gavin told me he was going to stop being my friend until he turned 30.
I mean, that was like a blanket rule for anyone. I think I said the same to Bernie.
Yeah, and so there was a couple years there where you just told me we weren't friends.
Yeah, so, bye.
So
if my age starts with a 2 and yours starts with a 4, there's a problem.
Sorry, Andrew.
Fuck you, Gavin.
So I've been recording my farts, and so I got a text the other day. It didn't have any sort of body to the text. It just said the file name from a voice memo.
What was the file name?
New recording 20. which I hope 1 through 19 are actual serious voice memos and not just farts, but sure.
They're not.
And so I got it. I played it. Shall I play it now?
If you want to, sure.
So I just replied, "This is the beginning of something terrible."
Yeah, it is. So I don't know, man. I was just bored. So I've been voice note recording on my iPhone all of my farts, and what I've learned is that that farts are like fingerprints and snowflakes. They're unique and individual, and no two farts are the same, at least audibly. So I've become kind of fascinated with like the variance in my farts, and so I started to think like, well, this fart kind of reminds me of Gavin. So what I've been doing is sending farts to the people in my life, unannounced and unrequested, and then just seeing what happens. It's amazing how upset people get, when they receive a fart. My mother was not jazzed. She was the first person I sent a fart to.
I feel like a lot of your just living and existing is to annoy your mother in ways that are so targeted towards her. Like, yes. I feel like you made your old AIM names kind of just for her.
Yes. I used to... we'll get off on a tangent. I used to... For AOL Instant Messenger, that's how Rooster Teeth ran for a few many years there.
Yeah.
That's how we communicated before Slack. And our AIM names would always leak out, and then you just start getting AIM names, like 100 AIMs a day from strangers, and so I'd have to constantly change them to things that I didn't think anyone would guess or have any interest in aiming. And so for the longest time, my AIM name was Set Sail for Ass. And my mom wanted to start aiming with me, and she was offended by the name, so she made me change. She asked me to change it, so I changed it to Delicious Boner, and then made my mom talk to me with that AIM name.
Wasn't there also like My Balls Your Ass?
My Balls Your Ass was one of them. She would only talk to me through the one because I don't know.
You could potentially find the best fart sound, like the best, most satisfying audible fart, and I feel like we could potentially take that waveform and print it on a shirt. Or Andrew will get it tattooed across his forehead or something. Like, there'll be, like, the fart in visual format.
Maybe that's the culmination of last week's episode, which is we wanna do some sort of a GoFundMe or find a top-line sponsor to tattoo Andrew's face. Maybe the tattoo is the waveform of the perfect fart.
I think that's perfect.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant idea, Gavin. Andrew, no need to respond. I'm going to assume you're on board for this.
I mean, I think the part you're missing is there's $1 million exchange. I wasn't just looking to put fucking Tide on my forehead. This is $1 million deal.
We got step 1. We got profit. We just need step 2. We'll get there.
There were times, like, okay, so when we lived together, we always had different rooms, occasionally a different building that we slept in. Yes. And whenever you were just, without warning, barge into my room, I knew something had happened. Like, you wouldn't ever just come in and say hi. You would always come in being like, hey, I bought you a tiny motorbike, and you would just leave it in the room. Or you would come in with your boxers off and a load of towels and say, I just shit the couch.
Yeah, that's true. I was drinking back then. That was before I sobered up. So, yeah, I was... Why do you feel comfortable calling yourself Canada's greatest gamer?
I think it's a factual statement when you own every Garfield Kart world record on Xbox. I don't think I need to sell it in any way. I think that kind of just explains all of it. What is
Garfield Kart? I'm assuming is a kart racer similar to Mario Kart, right?
It is. It is some would say a lesser Mario Kart. Some would say better. I don't know who those are. But it's it's a Mario Kart clone.
And how did you become the Canada? How did you become the Mario? What is it called? Garfield Kart World Tour.
Furious Racing. Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
They made two Geoffs, so it's clearly it's a big deal.
Why did you buy it?
Because I really wanted to be good at a game that nobody was good at, and I went to the Xbox store, and you know how they have what's the highest selling game. I clicked that, and then I went to the bottom of that, and I saw what was the least selling game. And number 7 was Garfield Kart.
And we should let the listeners know that you are incredibly competitive.
insanely.
There was one time where I had one better time in a Trials HD map than you, and you spent weeks straight trying to beat it until you finally
spent 100 days beating your run. Every single morning, I would do 7 runs of the course, and it took me on the 100th day, I finally beat it.
What happened after you broke? Because you texted me and you were like, I now have like the world record in every track on this stupid game. And then like 10 minutes later, you were like, I have an enemy.
Yeah, it's the problem is it started as a joke, but then when you're on top, you don't want to fall off that. So now I'm incredibly serious about my Garfield Kart racing. Like, as soon as I got all the times, someone else started taking times, and I had a heated rivalry with someone that I'm pretty sure was 7.
Well, this podcast is surely the death sentence of your top times. Like, people are going to go out there, they're going to get the game, they're going to knock you off the top of the pedestal.
If this was back then, Gavin, I would have been nervous. I've gone through like 8 rivals. Okay, I'm the top of Lasagna Mountain. I'm not even a little bit worried about it. The game costs like $30. So that's why I've been able to hold it partially, because nobody's dumb enough to spend $30 on a Garfield game. I would welcome all challengers, though. You could try. You can try. You're going to waste your time and money, though.
You're going to get dethroned before we film the next one.
I'm going to retire by the time we film the next one. That's going out on top.
I think my favorite part of this saga was I don't know if he did the same to you, Gavin, but Andrew just kept sending me screenshots of DMs of him talking shit to little kids on Xbox Live and getting into these heated rivalries using Garfield puns to insult people.
It's a serious game.
Do you have any of those exchanges to hand?
It's a lot of when you race against me every day is a Monday, stuff like that. Anything Garfield, Lasagna Mountain.
I say get in, get out. Time is limited.
All right, well, I'm going to get out then. I'm going to go do other shit. I'll see you guys in a week.
Hey, who are you?
My name was Geoff Ramsey, and this was this fucking show we do. What's it called? Face. You are... That was where you say I was Gavin Free.
Oh.
Oh.
You asked who I was, and I fucking instantly, I jumped to attention. I ask who you are, and you're like,
I was reading what Eric wrote, and I was throwing, because I don't want to do what Eric told me to do. I want you to do it. So I said, throw it to you, and then you threw it back to me, and I wasn't expecting it. I'm Gavin.
I'm Andrew.
If you enjoyed this podcast, or maybe if you hated it, but there's somebody in your life who you hate more than the podcast, and you want to spread misery their way, tell them about our podcast. Tell them they'll like it. Tell a friend or an enemy. Like and subscribe. Leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify or any of that nonsense. I feel a bit like a heel saying all this stuff. I usually make fun of other podcasters for doing it, but unfortunately it is... I'm going to cut all this. I don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
It has been a very long week.
I got a bloody mental day tomorrow.
Do you have a mental day?
Yeah.
A lot of recordings?
All down day.
How about you, Andrew?
I'm in the process of a move. I might not have a desk, so I'm figuring that out.
Do you wake up every day and then like the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I check the turnip prices, obviously in Animal Crossing.
Is this still the podcast?
Yeah, I think so. We're ending in a second. Is the first thing you do check your Garfield times?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, do that. Face. Love you guys.
What an ending.
That's gotta be. That's.
You just started talking about turnips. You did. Could you imagine if you were listening to a podcast and they were ending and they're like, yeah, like and subscribe. Yeah. So what do you do in the morning? Do you get turnips?
Your self-declared war on the Basketweavers of the world, or the BWW as I know.
Dude, it's been picking up, hasn't it? I've seen the comments.
Yeah, have you seen the comments? I was gonna say that, like they say never punch down, and I felt a little bad for how hard we went into the Basketweaver paint. I didn't see anything. It's non-existent. There's no punching down. There's nothing. It's just air.
I saw a comment on the Rooster Teeth site that was pretty defensive about the basket weaving community. I assume they've elected one spokesperson.
Well, they didn't have a lot of options. They elected the guy or woman.
Here's why I think you need to be worried, Andrew.
Okay.
You live in a world with the internet of instant gratuity, instant call and response. You issued a call to the Basketweavers. You expect immediate blowback or hate or pushback from them. But what you don't realize is that the Basketweavers of the world are artisans. It takes time to weave a basket slowly. There's patience involved. There's discipline. And I have a feeling that whatever response you're going to receive, whatever measured, planned out response you're going to receive is going to have as much love and care put into it as the baskets that they weave.
So Geoff, I've noticed that we don't have any sponsors yet.
Is that I hadn't noticed.
It's I guess it's hard to sponsor a podcast with a name we can't say, and that I tried to search for on our own website earlier and it didn't come up.
Yeah, well, it's by design.
Yeah.
I actually think that there are sponsors coming. We've fielded some inquiries. There are some people out there. There's some products out there that I think that are brave and support the kind of groundbreaking content that we're making, and we're just waiting for them to catch up to us. But we'll get there. Don't worry about that.
I can't wait for Dollar Shave Club /face as a URL that's in the bottom of this podcast. So you moved.
I did move. I'm still in the process. Things are everywhere. Yeah, I moved. I don't think it's the great story, but there was a portion of time in which I was locked in my bathroom with my cat, with only my underwear, and I had strong concerns that the movers were going to kill me. It was a possibility.
I'm trying to figure out how you may have got into this situation.
There's no way that you could figure this out. It's a convoluted mess.
How did you not know that they were? How did they get? Huh?
Nah, they didn't know I existed.
Why did you think they were going to kill you?
Because they didn't know I existed, and I was sitting in a bathroom.
So someone else let them in?
Yes. Someone else was conducting the move. I was with the cat that has panic attacks when new people come in. I was keeping the cat calm. Things happened. The cat got covered in litter. I ended up with only my underwear left.
Oh, because you got caked in feces and litter?
No, I drenched my own clothes in water because I tried to have a bath.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I have this right.
Okay.
You were in the middle of moving, and there are movers moving your house, and you're trapped in a bathroom with a cat trying to keep it calm, and you thought, well, light some candles and have a bubble bath?
Well, if you're gonna be in a bathroom for like 2 hours, you eventually run out of things to do. Have a bath. And the tough part is you feel incredibly guilty when you're having a bath while people are lifting heavy furniture of yours. So I was trying to be really sneaky of like, oh, they're downstairs? Let's turn some water on. Turn it off when they come back up. They had no idea I was there. It was great. I did great in that department. But things took...
Just like the idea of you're with a bath, so you're like, ugh, gotta use it now. Been in here long enough.
Yeah. Why don't you start from the beginning? I want to hear this story in its entirety.
I mean, it's sort of the story. Like, I left before the movers arrived at the original house, took the cat to the new place, hung out there until the movers showed up, then moved the cat to the bathroom. And then, I tried to have a bath. When I got out, I launched water fucking everywhere. All over the bath. Got on the cat's tail. Cat panicked, ran into the litter box. Cat now has a tail of litter, because it all stuck to it. Cat's freaking out, and I'm just sitting on a toilet with just my underwear on, hoping they don't find me. Because all I can think about is that movie Burn After Reading, where like George Clooney finds Brad Pitt in the closet and shoots him in the face. I'm like, the movers are going to find me. They're not going to know who I am. They're going to think I'm a crazy person, and they're going to attack me. This is going to escalate in some way. So I was just trying to be really quiet.
Were there other bathrooms? Like, were you worried that one of the movers would come and take a piss?
There are 3. Yeah, no, I'm good. That wasn't a concern. Yeah.
How long were you in the bathroom for?
10 a.m. until 5 p.m., 4 p.m. maybe.
Oh my god!
God!
Why don't you just come out?
That's a full day.
Well, I don't know. Once you're, I mean, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna help with the move. I'd rather the movers not know I exist than feel guilty that they know I exist and I'm not helping.
If this podcast is still going next July, if the world still exists next July, and we haven't all succumbed to COVID, I think we should enter into the fucking race. I think we should enter into the race.
Or at least try and do a podcast from the race and like commentate on it.
Do a live remote from it, yeah. I want to be there when that cannon fires too.
It's the thing. Yeah. I mean, we could. It's not that hard. I don't think we want to ride. It's very uncomfortable, from my understanding. Riding in a bathtub in the ocean is apparently terrible. Not fun at all. But maybe we could like sponsor A racer?
Can we stick a balloon on it or something and just like float slightly above the ocean? Do you have to be on the water?
I think you have to be on the water.
All right.
It'd be really sad to see a face balloon slowly like float down.
Well, we have about a year to plan, so we just need to start understanding. What is it? Bathtubs? Is that what the race is?
How long does it take to buy a giant balloon?
How long does it take?
What do you mean?
Yeah, like when do you put the order in for a hot air balloon or like a big blimp with an ad on the side? That's got to be at least 6 months.
Hey, dickhead, can I ask you a question? Didn't you get famous off of giant red balloons?
I don't mean a balloon.
You have like a lifetime supply of them. So you just fill it with helium.
You can't fly that over a bathtub race.
It's a 6-foot tall balloon. You put 3 of them together and fill them with helium.
What? Have you ever seen a hot air balloon? A hot air balloon's like 15 meters. What? How? They're massive.
45 feet wide. You know the problem with hot air balloons and where you're going to run into an issue. You know what the baskets are made out of, right?
Oh shit!
We'll put in the order for the balloon, and no one will weave the basket.
they're gonna weave some weak spots. This is during my first marriage, so I hadn't fucked up my first marriage yet, and then started and fucked up my second marriage. So this is way back. This is in the process of fucking up my first marriage, and I went to the mall in Austin to get like some chocolates or something for my first wife. And as just like a gift, it was honestly, who can remember? It was 100 years ago. It was probably an apology, if I'm being honest. And I went to this little chocolatier stand in the middle of the mall, and there was a nice girl working there, probably in her early 20s, and she was just really chatty. So I was just kind of chatting with her, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm picking out some chocolates for my wife or whatever." And she goes, "Well, do you know what she likes?" And I was like, "I think she likes white chocolate." I don't remember. I think she did. It's been so long ago. And the girl goes, "Why? We have some really good white chocolates. Although, it's I got to be honest with you, it's not real chocolate." And I go, "Excuse me?" She goes, "It's a big secret. Not everybody knows it, but yeah, white chocolate's not actually chocolate. I don't know." And she explained the reason to me. I don't remember now because it's not important. What is important though is she's doing this whole list, and then I'm like, okay. And then she goes, "Yeah, white chocolate's my boyfriend's favorite too. He loves it. He can't get enough of the stuff." And I said, "Well, you should save the white chocolate's not really chocolate story for when you guys break up." And she goes, her face just fell, and she goes, "Why would you say that?" And I go, "What would I say what?" And she goes, "Do you think my boyfriend and I are going to break up?" And I go, "I don't know." And she goes, "Do you know my boyfriend?" And I was like, "No, I don't know either of you. I don't know anything about you." And she goes, "Why would you say my boyfriend and I are going to break up?" And I go, "I don't know that you're going to break up. I'm just saying if you ever do, hit him with the white chocolate's not real chocolate and rock his world." And she goes, I don't know why you would say that." And she just like turned away. And I was like, "I guess I'm leaving now." That was fucking brutal. I felt so bad afterward. I was like, man, I really ruined that lady's day, and I did not mean to. I was just making a joke. All right, so it's time. This is the part that we nail it every episode. I'm learning is the outro. So here we go. We got some gentle coaching from Eric. It's time to end the podcast. We're gonna do it smoothly. This has been a Face production. I have been your facer, Geoff Ramsey. With me, as always, Gavin Free and Andrew Payne. That sounds like the beginning of Face.
No, just end it!
You didn't say any of that!
No, you know.
Why did I say all that stuff? You didn't tell us
You guys
to!
in the turnip market this week?
Oh my god.
I took the day off of I took that week off turnips, and my fucking girlfriend's sister has $3.59 today.
Dude, mine went wrong. Apparently, white chocolate is not a chocolate.
I'm late for a meeting now.
White chocolate doesn't contain Coke. It doesn't contain chocolate solids. That's why it's
What
not
is
chocolate.
chocolate solids?
But keep it to yourself because you'll break up relationships. It's not good. You'll end friendships. White chocolate's not something to fuck around with. Also, shout out to White Chocolate,
solids.
one of the best passers in the history of the NBA.
Follow Eric on Twitter.
No, you don't have to do it. Here, hang on just a second.
Did you just end the recording?
Hey guys, if you give me 2 seconds, I'm just wrapping up this other podcast. So I'll be in this meeting in 2 seconds. I'm just letting you know. I just wanted to jump right in. Okay, there you go. So very late for this meeting. Thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys next week. Oh, if you go to church, tell God, whatever your God is. If it's any of them, just tell your God about Face. We really want to get him involved or her. Maybe there'll be a guest someday.
someone reached out to me who does this for a living. They make baskets or they teach people how to basket weave a certain type. And they're going to mail me a kit, and I am going to join the Basket Weaving Alliance. I know this is shocking, but I'm going to weave a basket. I have no idea how. I watched a video, but I'm going to get the stuff. I don't know how to get it to me because the office is closed.
Shit. That's awesome. We could auction it off for charity.
Oh, no, you can't.
Like, are you doing this to prove that basket weaving is not difficult and that you can be good at it easily? Or are you doing it to, like, relent and accede that basket weaving is a difficult and artistic endeavor, and you're going to give props and respect by doing it and showing how hard it is?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of column A, column B. It'll probably be really difficult, but if I was in the basket weaving community and I fucking nail it out of the gate, I'd be a little bit worried. It's a possibility. I could hit a home run here, not even know what I'm doing.
Speaking of facing or f***ing and facing, did anybody fuck themselves this week? Face? Any facing?
I had an anxiety attack about if Yoshi fucks. That happened.
Well, he just lays eggs though.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I was thinking about, well, like, how does that happen? Does he just lay? Do they just lay them, or like, is there a process? Do they ever explain this?
I think I know. Doesn't Yoshi eat people? Like, can he hold them in his mouth?
Yeah, he eats Koopas and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I wonder if he extracts semen from them in that process, and then that's how he fertilizes his own eggs. Like, you think it's a cute, funny moment in the game, but what's really happening behind the beak, if you will, or the mouth, is a very anatomically disgusting extraction process by which he removes Koopa semen.
Someone's been reading the Mario Encyclopedia. That sounds like a pretty official explanation to me.
Why were you worried about this week?
Well, I was just thinking about it, and then I thought, well, they lay eggs. What else lay eggs? And I think chickens. And I thought, well, I've never seen a chicken fuck. I'm pretty, like, I don't know how that works.
It's not pretty.
A chicken lays unfertilized eggs in farming. They're not getting railed to lay eggs.
I don't know how. I was just thinking about eggs. So then I went on YouTube and I looked up process of like making an egg, of like the creation of an egg. And I got 10 seconds in and realized I was watching a human video of how babies are born. And, and that I did not learn enough in my 45-minute class. There were some holes that were missing.
Well, let me tell you, I owned chickens for about 2 years there, and you do not want to see them. Well, first off, they don't make love. They have very aggressive, angry sex, and it's not pretty, and you don't want to see it. You're better off not knowing.
So were you trying to breed chickens?
Well, I wasn't trying to breed them, but I had a rooster with my 6 hens, and so they would get it on.
What was the point of the rooster?
To protect them. But eventually I had to get rid of the rooster because he was harming the hens. And then what happens is one of the other hens becomes the protector of the group, and that's what happened. So it turned out it was fine.
I'm so stupid that when Gavin asked what was the rooster for, he asked you. In my head, I answered alarm clock. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wouldn't want the rooster part. It's just they're loud as hell.
I actually, I had such a bad experience. I love those chickens so much, and they were so much fun to have. But I had just like, I don't know if I live in the city, and there's just like city possums and city raccoons are brutal. And even in their chicken coop, they would like rip holes in it and like steal the chickens. And I remember my neighbor came over one day, this very polite, usually like 50-year-old woman, and just lit into me about how loud my chickens were at like 4 a.m. And I was like, yeah, they got murdered. A raccoon killed them. And she's like, just kept going and going. I'm like, my husband's got to get up for work, and he can't be listening to your damn chickens all. And I'm like, they're dead. I don't know how. And she's like, she wouldn't stop. And I'm like, lady, they were murdered. I don't have them anymore. Stop. I'm dealing with the loss of like 3 chickens, and you're yelling at me. Let me mourn my chickens. And anyway, that lady and I became enemies after that. Do you guys remember the first time you faced?
I have like a series of them, but not like, I don't have like an event like it sounds like you have.
I don't know that mine's an event. I just, and I don't know that I can consciously take credit for it, although I would like to. But I think my first, if I had to think, my very, very, very first face would have been my birth. if I can take credit for being born. And here's why. I was born in 1975. So
Jesus.
It was a different time back then, yeah. And my mom didn't get a sex test to determine what I was going to be. She was poor and living in a trailer, and she was like 18. It's a very typical Alabama story. And so she thought, and my grandmother and my family all thought I was going to be a girl. I was supposed to be born Amanda Jean was going to be my name. And I came out with a penis. It wasn't much of one, but it was enough. And so I'd like to think that, and so I was never supposed to be a boy. I was supposed to be a girl. And so it's a layered facing. So I think that was my first face. Was I pulled one over on my mom by being born a boy. She then faced me immediately after in two ways that I have never. One way I've recovered from. The second one I don't think I ever will. Because I was supposed to be a girl and my mom was really poor. Her and my grandmother, they made a year's worth of dresses and girls' clothing for me. And I then was forced to wear pretty much mostly girls' clothing for the first year I was alive because that's what they had. And so my face got me face there because then I had to dress as a woman for the first year of my life. But the worst face I realized that my mom got over on me is because she picked out the name Amanda Jean, and I was born with the little penis thing. She, on the spot, just picked a name, I assume, which is, or I don't know, maybe there was a Toys R Us commercial on TV. So she named me Jeffrey with a G. Not that we have, which is, I've looked it up, it's Welsh, and it's, I don't know how, it has nothing to do with my family. I don't know where the fuck she got the name from, and I don't think I've ever even asked her. But she named me Jeffrey Paul. Obviously, I replaced the Paul with Laser, very wisely as an adult. But so I realized that now every day since my birth, since the day my mom faced me with the G Jeffrey, every time I've had to tell my name to a new person, she faces me. For 45 years, every time I have to tell somebody my name is Geoff, it's a face because I have to spell it for them or they get it wrong. And at the first day of school, kindergarten through 12th grade was probably why I didn't go to college, honestly, was a fucking nightmare of teachers not going through the roll and going, Godfrey, Joffrey, Goreflux, Gilflip, and then an entire class of people laughing at me, and then me going, well, that's it for the year. I'm a pariah in this class. And that was probably the worst facing I've ever got. And I gotta give credit to my mom. I thought I had her with the penis, but she really fucked me with the name.
Were you friends with Goreflux at school?
I don't know that I ever knew a Goreflux, but the worst one I ever got was my 10th grade chemistry teacher, who I spent a year facing, by the way, and then she spent a year facing my grades. Rightly so. No offense to her. I deserved it. I spent more time outside of the classroom, sitting outside, not being allowed to do classwork or participate in class than I spent in the class.
Was this the same woman whose car keys you took at one point?
Yeah. I forgot I'd stole them, and then she was taking a cab to work. I realized.
You know, when you're like 4 or 5, you sort of take control over the mindless blob that you've been the entire time, and you're like, all right, I'm driving this thing. I guess I'm making decisions for this lump of meat. But for some reason at school I didn't talk, and I just became sentient in that. And I was like, well, I want to talk to people. I can't just start talking now though, because everyone will be like, Jesus Christ, he said something. Well, so I just stayed silent.
Have you heard this, Andrew?
No.
He described it to me. What grade was it this started in?
Oh, right at the beginning. From the moment I set foot into a school, I was like, I don't like what's happening. This is before I took over. I was like, apparently it's like, I don't want to say anything.
The way he described it to me the first time he told me, Andrew, is he went to school the first day and he didn't say anything because he didn't know who to talk to or who's shy. And then so when he went to school the second day, he thought, well, I didn't say anything yesterday, so I better keep my mouth shut today. And then he just did that for like 3 years. Like he was the kid in class that doesn't talk, like the mute, silent kid that everybody thinks is weird, I assume.
Yeah, but It was fine. Like, people would still talk to me, and they could tell that I would understand. Like, I would nod and stuff. And then I would get home and be like, oh God, and just having this like pent up energy. And then one day, I think it was year 2, I decided I was bored of this existence, and I thought I'm gonna talk because the teachers had already got into the swing of ignoring me for like the morning register. They would read out everyone's names. You know, it'd be like Gavin, Gorflax, or whatever you said. And they would say Gavin and just look for me, and people would point at me, and I would just like sometimes put a hand up, and they'd be like, yeah, he's here. And then one day, the beginning of year 2, I was like, yeah, here. And every single person in the room looked at me. And I was like, this is my worst nightmare. And then the teacher just said the next name on the list, and that was it.
You guys know, like, before, like, a movie starts that's, like, dangerous or something, they say, like, don't perform these stunts at home, or, like, this is a movie, don't try to do those. Yeah. I realized those were really made for me. I learned a lot from movies growing up. Like, I have a distinct memory of, like, I'd hear words in movies. I could kind of watch whatever I wanted when I was a kid, when I was, like, 4 or 5. And I'd hear, like, curse words and stuff, and I wouldn't know what they meant, but I could kind of tell what they meant based on how the person in the scene reacted to them. So I get a gauge of, like, how bad the word was that way.
Okay.
And there was one movie where someone flipped somebody off. And it was kind of like they were kind of annoyed, but also, like, they thought it was funny. So I had no idea how to read it. I spent the entire day, I was probably, like, 4, thinking, is this bad? Is this, like, an insult? Is this, like, a secret, like, wave? Like, what is this? I don't know what this move is. So my way to figure this out was as soon as I got home, I walked to the side. I walked in front of my house on the sidewalk, and I decided that the next car that drove by, I'm gonna flip them off, and depending on how they react, I'll know if I should continue to do this or if I shouldn't do this. So I waited like 5 or 10 minutes, and then and I remember this so vividly, it was this piece of shit truck, just completely beat up, holes in the side. It was a mess. And this big guy driving it, he looked like kind of a southern, like, stereotype character. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I had this huge grin on my face, because I'm like, I don't know what this means. So I want to kind of look nice, but it probably made it worse. So I was smiling as wide as I could, and I flipped him off. And to this date, I think this is the angriest I've ever seen anybody in my life. He was irate. He was so mad, and he immediately flipped me back off again, and I was terrified. I was like, I don't know what I did to this person.
And you were 4?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5.
So he's there driving around, minding his own business. Yeah. You're ruining his day. He's thinking, whose kid is this?
Yeah.
Stood on the side of the road, smugly flipping me off.
I got into skateboarding because I saw a monkey do it. I can relate.
That's the best segue I've ever heard in my entire life. I got into skateboarding because a monkey did it? What does that mean?
Have you not heard of the MVP film franchise? These were huge in my life. I mean, it would make sense, I guess, why I'm younger. But there were these series of movies called MVP, Most Valuable Primate, that were made by the people that made Air Bud, and I fucking love them growing up. I was a big fan of the first one.
You want to end the podcast?
Yeah, this is the part where Eric yells at me to end the podcast. Okay. Without Eric here, I think he's probably in a meeting getting yelled at for something else. I'm going to get it. This concludes another episode of the Face podcast. I have been your host, Geoff Ramsey, and with me, Andrew Panton and Gavin Free. Nobody likes them, but that's okay. They continue to live in my shadow. That's fine. Thanks for listening. If you like it, please rate and review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or whatever the fuck that is. And if you don't like it, still review it. Stick it to the man. Don't let them tell you that.
I lost him.
Yeah, so did I. This is the best intro for Exit we've ever done.
I'll be honest. I tried to distract him. Mm-hmm. I tried to distract him in the middle of him doing that.
Oh, he's back.
By calling his phone, and the moment I called him, his audio stopped. What just happened there?
Did you not hear me at all?
No.
Yeah, you called me. Well, I'm on my fucking phone, so you called me. I just hit mute, and I just kept going. It was brilliant. Oh, it was brilliant. Rate and review us on the fucking thing. Tell everybody. Stop.
Going Ape, though. I can't believe you guys don't know about Going. It's a Tony Danza and Danny DeVito monkey movie from the 80s.
Yeah, but an ape isn't a monkey.
Oh, it's an orangutan. What is was that a monkey?
Orangutan. But yeah.
No. I mean, like, they're all primates, right? But they're not all monkeys. Like, King Kong's not a giant monkey.
Wait, orangutan? It's not Tang? Wait,
Orangutan.
Wait, no. Are you fucking with me?
There's no other G on the end of it. That's just what people say.
It's not like a fizzy drink.
It's not orangutan.
You don't slurp it in space. No.
I can't tell. This isn't a bit. I thought
It's not a bit.
I thought it was an orangutan my whole life. This is like shocking.
It's not that shocking.
Wait,
No, and it ends with an N.
there's no G. Are you sure about that?
No, there's a G in the middle.
Is this like an Eric episode 4 thing?
Essentially. It's a 1G word.
Orangutans. Holy shit. That's a terrible name. Who wants to... Orangutans.
Do you know why they're called that? It's because they're tan colored.
That's stupid.
That's
I'm
not
not
true.
falling-
That bit
I'm
was
not
that
that
bit was a lie.
That's not... No, I'm not. That's not happening, Gavin. I got Gavin his Halo 2 lasso achievement. You would be lost without that check.
Oh my god, yes.
Full circle.
That was gonna make me put down the entire Master Chief Collection.
What was that achievement?
So Lasso Halo 2. Lasso is legendary, all skulls on. We do it a lot on Achievement Hunter. And Halo 2 is the hardest one. The elites, I mean, that's a hard game just on legendary. For some reason, Iron is like on by default. So every time one of you dies, you both go back a checkpoint. The elites fire ridiculously fast, kill you instantly. So with all the other skulls on, like Famine and Blind, all that shit, it's an incredibly frustrating and difficult experience. If you start the Lasso playlist co-op, it skips a level called Armory, which is like, hey, look up, look down, go and stand in the shield thing.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 because it doesn't want you, there's no room for two people to do that. So it just skips you straight to Cairo Station. You can then beat the entire game co-op on Lasso, and you'll get to the end and nothing will happen. The achievement will not unlock. And that's because the Armory is incomplete. To do it, to get the achievement, you have to play the Armory on Lasso solo. Even though there's no enemies in the game, you have to, for some reason, know to do that first. Otherwise, that level remains incomplete and the playlist remains unbeaten.
And you can't go back and do it after the fact, right? You have to do that first. Yeah.
Because it's a playlist, you can't just go back, do the Armory, and then finish the Great Journey, which is the last level. You can't do that because you can't pick that level once you've beaten it. It starts you at Cairo Station again. So the only way to do it is to solo Lasso on the Armory and then play the entire game again. Unless you have a friend called Andrew Panton who grabs you a checkpoint from the very last level.
All of that work and all of those people combined went into it so that, Gavin, you could see a little window pop up on your Xbox and hear a noise go, ding.
Yeah,
That's
but don't act like it's not satisfying, and don't act like you didn't start an entire department of Rooster Teeth based around that.
Yeah, no, I say that I'm down to playing one video game and I'm like 800 hours into it or 1,200 hours into it, whatever, just to get stupid fucking achievements. And it's so bad they named one after me as a taunt, and I'm now 6 months later. I'm 22% of the way there, and I think it's going to take me at least 18 more months, at least maybe 2 years. It's and I play it for at least an hour a day every day. It's fucking brutal.
That's awful.
And it's like, and like, it's like the biggest fuck you ever, because the way they did it by making this bullshit, brutal grind of an achievement, and then calling me out and said, literally, the achievement is called "Try This One, Geoff." And now everybody in that community and that plays that game fucking hates me. Now they know who I am because I'm the guy that got this achievement added to the game that ruined it for everybody.
And what's great is for the developers, it probably took like a couple of minutes of typing something to add that achievement.
Yeah. But for me, it's going to be 2.5 years of my life.
So anyway, once you become Pirate Legend, you unlock this special chest, and you can level up your Pirate Legend status via that chest. It's the only way to do it. It takes like 90 minutes to go through the quest, and you get that chest at the end. But for how Sea of Thieves works is you don't get any credit for it unless you cash it in. So like you could do all that work and get nothing. And I was playing and I saw this boat, and so I hopped in it and I was laying down and I saw they had a bunch of shit, and I was like, this is great. And they dropped one of those chests in. And I thought, this is amazing. I'm going to steal it. So I waited, and once they all left, I grabbed it, threw it in their rowboat, disconnected, and just paddled away. Left immediately. I stole it. It was one of the greatest feelings I've had in gaming in like years. But I'm already max level, with Pyro. I had no reason to take the chest. It was just, it was fun.
Just to ruin their day. And the way this works is literally like in this video game, Sea of Thieves, it's a sea of islands and ocean, and you and 3 of your buddies hop in a boat, and then you just swim around stealing shit from other people or killing other people or digging up treasure. And so you saw them get off their boat and you just stole essentially their chest and swam away in their rowboat.
In their rowboat. And since I already had the chest, I had the max level, I was like, well, I don't really need this. It'd be a waste if I just did this by myself. So I tweeted, if anyone needs rep, just let me know and I'll send you an invite. The previous week, I got banned from Xbox Live for being nice in Sea of Thieves. And so Gavin made a joke to the tweet saying like, hey, like this is a bannable offense or something. And then once Gavin did it, the tweet got way more attention, so people were messaging me. And I just got this random party invite, and I was like, oh, I guess they saw the tweet. And so I joined the party, and it was 4 people, and they immediately said, where are you right now? Do you steal the chest? And my heart dropped. I was so nervous. I thought it was somebody wanting to join. It was the people I stole the chest from. They went into their recent players, and they were interrogating everybody that was a recent player. And they said, did you steal the chest? Did you cash it in? And I'm sitting in the rowboat, and I'm looking at the chest, and they asked if I sold it. I said, no, absolutely did not do it. Did not sell it. Don't know what you're talking about. And they kept asking me questions, and it was getting more and more intense. They're like, interesting, well, where were you at Crooks Lagoon? That's where we were a little while ago. Were you near that area? What island were you? What quest are you doing? It's like they had the light in front of my face. And I was just answering, I was just lying through my teeth. I forgot to mention the important part. I was so happy with myself. I was making screen clip or like screenshots and recording clips the entire time I did it. So while they're talking to me, if they go into my profile and look at my feed, they will see all the video footage of me stealing their shit. And so I'm talking to them and lying and just like, please just don't look at my profile. It's so bad. And so we talked for like 10 minutes, and they're like,
this was like over the message, like the Xbox Live chat?
Yeah, we're in a party chat. We talked for like 10 minutes, and then this other person came into the party. He was interrogating someone else at a tavern. He's like, I'm talking to this guy. He's also denying it. I don't know what's going on here, but we think it's one of you two. And I just kept saying, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's happened to me. That's the worst. Like, you try to grind so hard, and just to have it taken from you, that's bullshit. It's too bad that can happen. And so we ended up being friends, and they all added me because I was such a nice guy. And then I couldn't resist. So like the next night, I sent the video clip of me stealing it. I'm so sorry. And it turned into a massive argument. The guy was so upset. I thought he'd think it was funny. He did not find any humor in this situation. And it just kept escalating. And he was such a dick. I flipped and said, you're making me the hero of this story. You are such a dick right now that you are now the villain. And he did not like that. He just got progressively more upset the more I called him the bad guy.
I bet he did not feel like the villain.
He was a dick. The game is called Sea of Thieves. There's thievery on the sea.
It's true.
It's what the game is called. I didn't make the game. I'm just playing the game. He was really mad. I wish I could remember what he said. He was an asshole. Like, I stole the 90-minute chess. Not a great thing. I'm not advocating it, but yeah, he was upset.
If you found out 2 of your friends had a sex tape, you'd probably watch it. You'd probably be like, I gotta see what that's about.
Yeah.
I would not. If I found out that there was like a poo video, I would not seek that out.
Am I in the minority on not wanting to watch the sex tape?
But you would watch it though, out of curiosity. I think you would. I think you're chatting shit there.
Nope.
I think you're chatting shit as well. Yeah. But that actually brings up a question now that I think about it that I never considered before. Sort of an orange versus orange question. Somewhere out there, somebody watched 2 Girls, 1 Cup for the first time and went, Danielle? Or Clara? Is that my cousin? Or didn't I have geometry with her in 10th grade? People out there watched Glass Ass or Lemon Party or Tub Girl or Knife Ass or whatever. Any of those videos from that era. Don't Google it. Don't watch
any of those.
Any of it. It's worse than shitting in your best friend's lap. Don't do it. But if you did, there's a chance you might know the person on the other end of that video or image, and that humanizes it, I think.
I don't think you'd recognize Tub Girl.
Well, I don't know.
No one knows who that is, surely.
But somebody must. All right, well, here we go. It's time for Andrew to end it, as he does every week. Andrew, take it away.
Oh, what am I? We're ending the show. Is that what we're doing?
Eric, what does he have to say?
What do I have
just,
to? What,
just
what
tell
do I
people to tell a friend to listen to the podcast, to rate and subscribe, and to
Tell
leave a
people to
review.
tell a friend to listen to the podcast, rate and subscribe, and leave a review.
What if they're on an app that they can't review? Like,
Well,
does Spotify have reviews? I don't think
but
Spotify
then that
has
doesn't
reviews.
apply to them. It applies to the other people that are listening.
Let us know what is the smallest thing you've ever done that completely ended a friendship.
Oh, I'd love to know.
Ooh.
I'll tell mine next time.
I can't wait.
Ooh. So I guess you're supposed to tell people and rate and subscribe to the podcast, right?
Just waiting on
What's
you.
happening? Just end
Did you say gas?
What?
What happened?
What
What's
happened?
going on? Just end it. Just say thank you. Goodbye. Thank you
Thanks.
for listening.
Thank you for listening,
Thank you for
Eric.
listening.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Eric.
That was kind of unnecessary. That was mean.
What?
Yelling at us?
He's a high-strung dude.
I can tell. You know, I met Eric like 10, probably longer than, maybe 10 years ago. It did not go well. Very awkward exchange between Eric and I.
What was it, like at some Mega 64 booth?
Yeah, it was back in the Mega 64 booth. Very awkward
I
exchange.
don't remember that at all.
Do tell. Or should we save it for a future episode?
Save it because we're trying to end the show.
Well, if
Why
you'll
do we
shut
not
up, we
do
can.
it?
Hey, thanks for listening to our fucking podcast. Give us a rate and review. And if you don't like Eric, hey, welcome to that segment of the society. Do you remember the first time we met in person, Gavin? Was it in New York?
Yeah. I stood up.
Well, what was it? It was an event for
It was
our
a
company
screening.
at the Kennedy Center or the Lincoln Center in what is that
Lincoln
place called
Center,
in
New York.
Lincoln
It
Center.
was a screening of season 3,
of Red versus Blue, which was a cartoon we made.
which I think you cut down slightly because it was quite long. You did like a little cut down. And then someone in the community made me stand up in front of everyone because I'd come all the way from England. And he gave me a little bowling trophy that said...
How old were you?
16 or 17.
And you came with your dad.
Yeah, my dad didn't come to the event because he wanted to walk around New York and that. But I
And
got a
his name
bowling
is-
trophy.
I'm not gonna let you say what the. Sorry, go ahead.
The guy in the community gave me a bowling trophy that he'd stuck like a doll dress on, and he had it engraved with furthest distance traveled. So I stood up, and some people in the crowd clapped, and he gave it to me. And you on the mic said, "Gavin, your flyer's down."
I kind of remember that, but to be fair, I think your fly was down.
It was down, but everyone looked at me and laughed, which is nightmare territory for me.
Especially when you're 16.
Yeah, I sat back down in my seat, sort of slunked down so no one could even see the back of my head, and just waited for the world to move on.
To be fair, there were only maybe 400 people in that room at the time.
It's true.
Andrew, do you remember the first time we met?
Oh, God, I do. I do, unfortunately.
I definitely don't. Was it in Seattle?
It was in Seattle, and I was so nervous that I didn't introduce myself until day 2. I was at the booth all day 1, and I didn't say hi to anybody. It was a gripball booth, and I just played gripball all day, and I kept thinking, like, I shouldn't introduce myself. I don't know, it's just a good time. There are a lot of people. I don't want to just, like, be in line and be like, hey, and not buy something. I had a lot of anxiety about it. And then, like, halfway through the first day, you were doing, the thing at the booth was a grifball tournament. You had this huge whiteboard, and I backed up, and I knocked the whiteboard over, and it made the loudest clack. And everybody working the booth just looked at me as I put the whiteboard back, and I was like, I'm taking an L on day 1. We're gonna have to come back to this day 2, is when I definitively decided that there was just I couldn't at that point. I think Caleb introduced me. I don't think I even ever actually did. I was nervous.
It's scary, man. Have you noticed that Eric has taken to tweeting shit about us while we're recording? Have you seen his newest tweet?
No, I haven't. What did he say?
He's bitching about us like right this second on Twitter. Eric, you wanna hop on and sort of say that to our face or what? I guess that's a no.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I was saying that somehow this show has devolved in 6 episodes from just not knowing how to.
So you agree it's episode 6?
Yes, it is episode 6.
It's not just down to us though, because usually like for the other podcasts, the real podcasts that we make, you sort of
Real
say,
ones?
yeah, you sort of say, you know, go, or you give us like an action, or you give us a countdown, or there's an intro
tried
thing.
to do that last week. And what happened? What happened last time?
Failure in leadership is what happened.
That's what I'm sorry, boss. Did I fell apart on this one or what?
You're the producer.
I tried to tell you to go last week, and that turned into a whole fucking mess. Somehow in 6 episodes, this show has devolved into not knowing how to end and not knowing how to start now. Like, we've written stuff out to be like, hey, just say this. And I've written things out for the end to just be like, yeah, say this. And then you're like, yeah, great. And then it turns into whatever this is, to where this time I was afraid to say, okay, go, because you said, let's start the podcast, and then didn't say anything.
Well, you should never be afraid to do your job. But let me ask you a question, Eric. Since you brought it up, you said that this podcast and we have difficulty starting and stopping it. It's descended into a mess. Mm-hmm. Do you have that problem with any of the other podcasts you produce?
Face Jam doesn't know how to end, but it knows how to start.
Huh.
That, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, Eric, that I texted you with, hey, I'm having tech problems, because Rooster Teeth, our company, faced me in the process of recording this episode, and it was quite frustrating and sort of hilarious, but we got it all worked out. And Andrew, you don't know this. I called Gavin to yell at him about it while I was fixing my computer.
I would like to point out that I was in no way involved in any of this. I just received a phone call.
No, I just had to vent to you.
Yeah.
I said, can I call? And you go, yeah. And I go, okay, good. And then I just said, here's what's happening. Well, it's because I know you're a very busy person, Gavin, and Andrew, you're, not. And so...
What did I do?
Nothing. Most days, nothing. That's why I wasn't worried about your time. I was more concerned about Gavin's time. Before I went to record the audio for this, for the mini golf thing this week, you guys sent me a new microphone because the mic I'm recording on right now is a doo-doo mic. And so, and we've been having problems with it. So I switched to the new microphone, which requires like a little, like this Scarlett amp, and it's a whole new thing. And I get it all set up. It takes me like an hour to get it all set before the recording session, get it all set up perfectly. It's awesome. I finally can control my gain and do, and I'm a very happy, successfully set up technologically little boy. And the first thing they do is they go, hey, your mic sounds different. And I go, oh yeah, I switched to the new mic you guys sent me. And they go, oh yeah, don't do that. You shouldn't switch mics halfway through recording a show because the audio won't match, which I understand. However, maybe don't send me the mic and tell me to set it up. Regardless, I have to tear the new mic out and put the old mic back in, which takes forever and cuts into the recording time. I go, are we good to go? Does it sound good? They go, yep, sounds great. Record the whole fucking thing. And then I found out 10 minutes before today's podcast, 2 days later, they come to me and they go, hey, by the way, all of that audio was bad. The mic was fucked up the whole time. The hour and a half you spent on Monday evening or whatever it was recording all that audio, it's just dog shit. And I was like, but I'm supposed to record 2 podcasts, because we're going to go back to back here, in 10 minutes. And they go, yeah, you're going to need to fix that. Hop on a call with me. I go to load up my computer and it's acting slow, and I go to reboot it. Rebooting it forces a fucking 30-minute update. I have to go through the update. Then I finally get in, fix the mic, and here we are.
I'll be honest, your technical problems are an absolute joy to be around. Like, you get frustrated in a way that is always so funny to me. I actually have a video that I took of you on a plane once where...
What?
Where you were trying to untangle your headphones. And the video is like 8 minutes long. And if you scrub through, like you can scrub from the first frame to the last frame, it's way more tangled at the end of the video.
I will go to my grave saying certain of a few things. One, that I was the greatest Peggle player of all time.
Well,
I may not be in Peggle fighting shape right now, but I could get back to it. And I would
do that yin yang level,
yeah,
or
listen,
did you get
dickhead,
some help?
Listen, dickhead, we were a team. First of all, what Gavin's referring to is there's this video game called Peggle. It's like a video game for bored housewives and dudes dudes who just like need something to do when they're on conference calls. But we became obsessed with it, and there were all these Xbox achievements tied to doing stuff. and different ways you play it and stuff. And one of the hardest achievement, I remember it like it was yesterday, it's called Doctor of the Peggle Arts. And that achievement is to clear every peg from every board on every map of Peggle, of which there are, I don't know, maybe 100, Gav?
And typically to beat a level in Peggle, you just have to get rid of the red pegs. The blue ones are just fodder, they're just points. It's very difficult to clear every single peg.
Damn difficult. With
the bonus difficulty of if you clear all the red pegs before the blue ones, the level ends.
Yeah. So, and it's quite hard sometimes to not hit the red ones when you're trying not to. So it took us about 4 years, me, you, and my ex-wife of intense Peggle playing, and we finally beat it. And you definitely beat the level that is my kryptonite, Yin Yang, and I have never beaten that level. I tried again a couple years later, and I've still never beaten it.
I had this fucking guy DM me. I don't think he knows anything about the podcast or anything. I think he just found that I had Garfield. I think I had world's best Garfield kart player in my Twitter bio, and he messaged me like, hey, I read your bio, and you need to change it because what you're playing is Garfield Kart 2. And I have all the records in Garfield Kart 1, and my times are faster than yours. And I'm sure, maybe you do still have the times. I don't know what you're doing in Garfield Kart 2, but, you'd probably be trash if you played Garfield Kart 1. Fucking psycho. It's a psycho.
Did it make you want to play Garfield Kart 1?
No, fuck him. I looked at his times. He's skipping. He's jumping through walls. He's cheating. It's ridiculous. Fuck that guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, but fuck that guy. Garfield 1. It's a bullshit game. It barely works. He's jumping through walls. Could you imagine if one guy's like, I got the home run record and also I did all the steroids, here's a video of it? Like, what do you mean you're bragging about your record? You're cheating.
Yeah, it's Barry Bonds, dude.
Yeah, I know, but Barry Bonds wasn't like, hey, look at all this video of me injecting steroids. He just did the thing. This guy's video is him cheating.
Andrew, have you ever talked about that bet you did recently to see who could step the least in 24 hours?
No.
Have we talked about that on Face?
No, we haven't.
Okay, here's what we should do. Let's stop this let's quit this fucking podcast because I'm sick of it so that we can immediately start the next podcast and talk about your McDonald's thing and the stepping thing. And I still didn't get to the thing I wanted to show you guys because I got off on a whole tangent about my dick or whatever.
Are we in the second one now?
No, we haven't started the second one yet. We have to end the first one.
Okay.
Yet.
How would we know though?
What'd be a good way to end it?
We just let me do it. Check it out. Oh, wow. Thanks for listening to Face. I go, yeah, I bought a grill online. I'm supposed to pick it up today. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I go, I bought a grill. Here's the receipt. I show it to them and they're like, oh yeah, that's a great grill. We don't have that. And I go, your website tells me you do. It tells me you have a grill. And they go, no, we don't. If you bought it, that it'll go into our system and we'll order it. And I go, oh, all right. Well, I feel a bit duped, but whatever. I've already paid for it. I just want to get the fucking grill. When can I get it? And he goes, well, the truck comes in on Thursday. This is Sunday, by the way. He goes, the truck will be in on Thursday, and it's a big truck, so it'll take us a couple days to unload it. And you can probably pick it up Saturday. And, exactly 7 days after I ordered it. And I was a little miffed about that, but I was like, oh, fucking Christ. Okay. And have I told you guys this story?
No.
Okay. I can't remember. I told somebody recently, but I can't remember who it was.
I'll be honest, you were pretty deep into the story. So
yeah, imagine if we just would have sat here and listened to you retell a story for 5 minutes.
I had the question earlier in my head, but I didn't give myself a break speaking. Like, my mouth was already off to the races, and I had to catch up to it. So my brain and my mouth work independently of each other often. So I'm like, I'm kind of pissed because it's like, I fucking ordered this grill because they said it was in stock, and it's going to take 7 days to get here, but whatever. I wake up Monday morning, and the first fucking thing I do is I check my email, and I get an email from these people saying, hey, we got your grill in stock. Come pick it up. And I'm like, I just talked to the dude less than 24 hours ago. So I go in there, and they go, oh, you're that guy that had the grill, huh? And I go, yeah, I'm the fucking guy who was here yesterday. And they go, yeah, we got your grill. It's the floor model, though. But don't worry about it. We put it together for you. So it's all done. And I look at the instructions and I go, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to put this together. This looks like a nightmare. Okay. And so he helps me load the floor model in. And I get home. And as I'm setting it up in my backyard, I realize it's covered in scuffs. Like, it's at least a year old. It's got like an inch of dust all over everything, and it's missing about a third of the components. So I got most of a fucking grill. I paid for all of a grill. I didn't want to go back and deal with those people again, so I just bought everything on the website that I was missing. I was like, fuck it. It's worth it to never go to that place again and talk to those people again. And so I ended up getting most of a grill, and it mostly works, but I'm still waiting on the little things like the temperature gauge, you know. That's my grill story. Sorry. Anyway, Andrew, you were saying something about an event.
My story, I kind of have a thing to talk about too, revolving grills. Could be grill.
Okay.
I'm just going to, these are the events of my week, and it doesn't feel like I've had a really weird week. It's just been a week. I broke a toe.
What?
I broke a toe by accident. I'm fine. I
Did you
broke a
stub
toe.
it on a fire extinguisher?
Oh, you know me too well. No, I opened a door angry. I should have had a nap. I should have had a
you were
nap
on the way to your hate nap.
I was on the way to my hate nap. Yeah, doors are dangerous.
But real quick, before that, why did you let me talk for 20 minutes about a mediocre grill story when you were hanging onto a broken toe?
Well,
You should have told me to shut the fuck up.
I didn't know. We didn't know it was a mediocre grill story until you got to the end. I was hoping there'd be a big twist. I was
you could
waiting.
still improve on it, Geoff. You could still walk out, go
Yeah,
out
just
there,
lie.
slam the tip of your dick in your new grill, and then you
Dude, it would rip my dick off.
a
Dude,
great
I would
grill
have no
story.
dick. Oh, God.
That'd
It would
be
rip my
painful.
dick right off. It's like cast iron. Ugh.
Anyway, they had a gaming section. I looked. They had a Fortnite section, and the most expensive thing they had was a 19-foot long, 18-foot high battle bus that you could inflate, which is the dumbest thing. Nobody needs this. And so we were
What
talking.
would that be for? Like a kid's birthday in a field? What would that be used for?
Yeah, I don't know. What
It's the size of an
practical use for.
actual bus.
It's huge. It's a massive. Yeah, it's like a bus-sized inflatable battle bus. And so we were talking, and it's like, well, we need to have this, but what do you do with a battle bus? So I said, I will buy this. I will send it to you if your roommate will live a full week with it inflated in his room that is much smaller than the dimensions of the battle bus. I will get that person something nice. I don't know what it is. We could figure it out later. I don't know what they want. I will get them something. And they agreed to it, so I mailed it, and they lasted 1 day with the battle bus fully inflated. I have videos and stuff I could post.
That was it? 1 day?
They lasted. Well, I guess what happened was the position the battle bus was in was over like one of the vents, and it was sucking in all the cold air and spitting it out hot as the inflatable with the fan. So it was apparently extremely hot in there, and he was done after a day. So he never got anything. But this person was recently, their garage was broken into, and they have all sorts of Vans collectible shoes. You know, that'll hurt you, Geoff. And they had all this like recording equipment and all this stuff. And the entire time he's talking about losing all these important, expensive items, I'm just thinking, where's the battle bus? Is the battle bus okay? Did they steal the battle bus? And I asked, they did not steal the battle bus, but they took it out of the cardboard and rolled it out to try to figure out what it was. And that's just the funniest fucking thing to me. Imagining that you're in the middle of robbing someone and you're like, what is this heavy box? And then opening it to find a 19-foot battle bus and then rolling it out and then having to have a conversation about, do we steal this? Is this worth something? What is this?
How much was it worth, this thing?
Oh, it was like $500, $450.
Oh my
maybe.
God damn,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, we as a group like came together to buy this battle bus.
I did something the other day. I talked about it in the last podcast that I'm really excited about, that I think is a whole new genre of entertainment. And I sent it to you guys on Discord. I want you to look at an image and see. Do you see what it is?
That's beautiful.
Oh my God. How did you, so you had to like, did you have to stop and like pre-plan the next letter?
Yeah. So I'll put this up online somewhere. I thought about just posting it on Instagram today and just saying explanation to come. I record my bike rides every day, and at some point I'm going to figure out the technology of how to put it all together and see what I have left to do so that I can turn my bike rides into a video game challenge. But it struck me, you could write shit.
Yeah, so
with the
looking at
map.
this, you've had to, I assume, start with the F?
I started with the F at Speedway. I started at 38th Street and Speedway.
So I
Emily
assume
and
you would go to the top right of the F
Yeah.
and then backtrack down to make the middle?
100%. So I drove on my bike. I drove up 38th Street to Guadalupe, and then I took a ride on Guadalupe and drove to 42nd Street, and then back, and then backtrack, and then down, I think, to Avenue C, and then in a bit, and then down. And anyway, in the course of that, I spelled the word fart in a bike ride, just to see if I could. Before we were going to, it was back when we traveled a lot. I went to fucking Sydney, Australia, the week before we went to Orlando. And we check into the hotel after like a hellacious 2-hour, like day and a half flight to get there and the whole thing. Gavin, you've been to Australia a bunch of times. It's a fucking nightmare. And you get there, it's like 8 a.m. and you're exhausted and it's 90 degrees outside and it's fucking hot and sunny and you're just all discombobulated. We check into the hotel. Millie goes, "Can I watch TV?" And I go, "Yeah, dude, fucking go for it. Turn on the TV. I'm gonna take a nap." She turns on the TV and there's a commercial for Disney World in Australia. Like, "G'day, mate. Go on down to fucking Orlando and didgeridoo Mickey," And she goes, I watched her face go, "Disney, Orlando? Dad? And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, Is Disney World in Orlando?" And I go, Yeah, it is. And she goes, we're going to Orlando real soon. And I go, "Yeah, we're going next week." And she goes, "Oh my God, we're going to go to Disney World." She's like, "Woohoo!" She's excited. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know that we're going to have time." I'm trying to set her. And she's like off to the races, running around the room, excited, like going like Disney World. I'm going to see Mickey Mouse, blah, blah, blah. And so when we got to Orlando a week later, we got off the plane. And then you take a tram to like the other side of the airport to go to baggage. And there's there's like a Disney World store in the airport. And she goes, we walk by and she goes, "Oh my God, is that Disney World?" And I went, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is Disney World." And she goes, "Can we go?" And I said, "Yeah, yes, you can." And she walked into the store and she looked at a bunch of stuffed animals and I let her buy one thing. And then I never told her that it wasn't Disney World. And until my mom took her when she was like 9, she thought Disney World was a store in the Orlando airport.
Did she ever find out that she's never seen all of Bolt?
Yeah. She knows now. She's fucking almost 15. She knows that she's well versed in all the lame shit I did. Yeah.
I like the idea of her not knowing even on the trip and them walking by at the airport, Millie being like, "Where are we going? We're missing it. Why are we leaving?"
I feel even telling the story now, like 8 years later, my heart hurts.
What do I need to say? What am I missing? I think I got the ratings.
No, I think you nailed it. The only thing I was going to add is that, like, if you have an opinion on Eric, we'd love to hear it.
He's typing.
Hold on. He says,
"Eric, why don't you just talk? Why are you typing to us? We're right here."
All right, so Eric wants us to end it with this. So I'll just say what Eric said, and then we can just end it. Okay? He said, "Yeah, trying, no, still going, say thanks and goodbye. You're adding something? Why?"
I said thanks. I told the people thanks.
You did tell the people
Andrew
thanks.
covered all that. I think he did it.
I didn't say goodbye. Well, I just did now.
You said yes. You were trying for sure. You were definitely still going. Hell, we're still going, so we're doing that.
How long is this exit? Is this the longest exit we've had?
I hope so.
I feel like this is like 5 minutes of us ending the show.
Well, you could just why don't we just cut it to when Andrew stopped talking the first time?
We could do that.
When did that happen? Like now? Like when I stop now?
Right then.
And that wraps up another classic dumpster fire edition of kFace. Thank you, Geoff and Gavin, for always being so wonderful and hilarious. You two really killed it this episode. I want to thank the brains behind this operation, Nick and Eric. This show would be a much lesser version of itself without the two of you. And I most importantly want to thank you, the listener. In a world of a billion podcasts, the fact that you've chosen to spend this time with us is greatly appreciated. Without you, there is no us. This is getting long-winded, so I'll just close this by saying if you enjoy the show and haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, please leave the show a positive rating and a review. Both of those things are a huge help in growing the show. Thank you so much for your support. Have a wonderful day.
He wrote it down. He was reading. It's a script.
I wrote
prepared that.
I did. I prepared.
You know, sometimes when you're listening to a podcast app and like you've skipped ahead on an episode right at the end, but then whenever you re-listen to it, it starts at the end. I thought that was happening, but then I realized this is live.
Well, Eric always complains about our endings, so I just wanted to make sure we got a good one. I think was that good, Eric?
That was
good?
the best ending we've ever had at the beginning.
I think that was pretty clean. I put some effort into that.
Goodbye and welcome to the backwards episode of kFace.
So Andrew just came to me one day. I've actually got the Slack still open. He said, "What is the food that you think you could eat the most of within a 12-hour time limit?" I went for penne pasta because for some reason, if I've ever like just made pasta, I always get seconds. I don't know what it is with penne, but so I said I could eat 4 boxes in 12 hours, and he said, "No, I probably couldn't. I think my stomach would just split.
There's no way you
start leaking penne into my cavities.
So many carbs. That's so much pasta.
But it's delicious." Then you said, "What about McDonald's single burgers?" I think I could, without struggle, eat 50 McDonald's dollar menu burgers in 12 hours.
I think I went in saying the hardest part would be not ordering fries as a side. I was very confident in my ability.
I then went on to say, "You're an idiot. You're a fool. That's like one every half an hour. Ridiculous." That'd be 24 hours. So you're talking, like 4 an hour. Ridiculous.
I think the math ended up being I needed to eat a burger every 10 minutes for what we settled on. But
yeah.
And I predicted that after 20, you'd be seriously slowing down. So how did it go?
Well, yeah. Well, I think we should also add there's a bet. We had a bet on this as well. Like once we agreed, I essentially asked every person I knew because I thought I could do it and wanted to make a bet with somebody. And you're the first person that agreed to a bet. We had a $50 50 burger bet.
Yeah, I will always be willing to put up money that is, an amount that would be useful in my life and spend it on something completely pointless that I don't even get to see.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
$50, I could buy an Xbox game for that. Well, most of one.
Hey, it's Monday at noon Pacific, and you are looking at a desk with 50 burgers on it. You may be wondering, why do I have 50 burgers on my desk? And it's because I made a bet with someone that I could eat 50 burgers originally within 12 hours, but then all of a sudden, once they see the photo what 50 burgers looks like, they're bringing up all these rules they never brought up before. So I'm going to 10. I think I could probably do it in 6. We're going to see. We're going to find out. I will say, Burger King better count their fucking lucky stars that they have that name copyrighted. Because after this, there's no dispute. I'm obviously the Burger King.
What was the price? What was the cost?
Yeah, that's a great question. What is the price?
I had it delivered, so there's a delivery. I think it came to like $70. So even if I won the bet, I was down.
I've got the stats here. 50 hamburgers, 240 calories each. Remove pickles, remove onions. Delivery fee, $5. Total food and beverage cost, $94.50.
Really? Wow. So if I would have won the bet, I would have.
You tipped the delivery guy $18?
Yeah.
That's very generous of you.
Well, COVID wasn't quite a thing yet.
When did it get a little bit palatably boring?
7. I'd say 7 in. Yeah.
Oh, that checks out, actually. At 5:30 p.m., bowl of blackberries was introduced at Burger 8.
Yeah. I had to try to do something.
Why would you just eat some random fruit?
Because it's small.
Eat anything,
it's small.
Right?
I wanted a different taste, and it was small. It's a small item to consume. I didn't think it would take up much space. I blazed through the first 5. It was
you said
impressive.
You ate 4 in 10 minutes, but
yeah.
So you were not pacing yourself.
No, why would I? This is gonna be easy.
After 4 hours, you were at 11.
Yeah, I started. The first few were no problem. Then I hit 5 or 6, and it became a problem pretty quickly. It was filling, and the taste, it was so bad, and they started getting cold. I didn't project how bad a cold burger would be.
Couldn't you have just sort of put the oven to like maybe 100 degrees and just left them in there?
That's what you want me to put 44 burgers in the oven at 100 degrees? That
this is
like
$50 on the line, Andrew.
Yeah, but I've already spent 97.
Exactly, you gotta recoup some of your loss.
I'm going down 47, no matter what. 31 burgers, 10 hours. I have 19 left. Ate 31 of them. Couldn't get the last 19 down. Did my best. Dug deep. Fought the entire way. Clawed, scratched, chewed. You name it, I tried to do it. Couldn't get it done. 19.
So where did it end up?
31 burgers. I ate 31 burgers over the 10 hours.
That's really not bad.
No.
31.
Pretty impressive.
The one additional is impressive to me. The fact that you didn't just call it a 30. You were like, I'll do one more.
Yeah, I wanted to do as many as I could. As I said, it's an inspiration. I didn't quit.
Were you still, like, set the stage. You have 10 minutes left.
I was still eating.
You're sitting on your bed surrounded by hamburger wrappers and like 22 or 23 burgers left, and you're like, how many can I cram in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah. No, that I was consistently eating. I'd take little breaks, and then I'd maybe stop for like 30, 40 minutes, and I'd kind of get a second wind, and then I'd eat 2 burgers, and I'd feel great, and then it would hit me again. It was just like a constant, it was almost like waves of like, this is the worst thing ever. I can do this. I can eat 2 more. And it was like that the entire 10 hours.
I also have the discussion here of after you lost. You said, since I lost and now owe you $50. However, the world has entered a pandemic and the economy is collapsing. In this Mad Max world, a $50 bill is useless. And then you went on to try and find something that might be worth more money. And you came up with a signed Coolio card for the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
That is not the most easily gettable card in that set.
Which, to this day, you never sent me.
No, well, we're going to talk about that. But you never responded, first of all, so I assume there was no Coolio interest. Second of all, that's a great collectible. He's not even in that movie. He had one scene and they cut it. So it's an autographed card for a movie that the person isn't even in. Coolio has no involvement with the actual film.
That must
it's a
be
great
worth
collectible.
Way more than $50. I would love that
I bet
thing.
not.
It's a great, yeah, you can probably find online. I think it might be worth $5 is the retail evaluation. So I thought, I want to send this to Gavin because I care about him and I owe him this $50, but I want to make sure it's safe. So what I did was I bought 4 different safes online of different sizes. I bought this really tiny safe that was intended for if you're in a casino and you don't trust yourself, you can just slide the money in there. So I got one of those. I put a nice 50 in for you. Then I bought a slightly bigger safe, and I put the small safe in that safe. Then I bought another slightly bigger safe, put that safe in that safe. Then I bought a bigger, like, hotel safe with the electric lock, and I put all the safes in there. And then I locked it. No, I didn't just lock it up, because I care about you, Gavin, and I care about you getting your money. So then I bought 500 keys off of eBay and had them shipped to my house. And I took the keys for the safe and all the other safes, and I threw them all in the big safe. So there's 500 keys and then 4 safes. Then I locked up the safe, and I was all ready to send it to you. And then the world entered a pandemic.
But yeah, that's gonna cost like $600 to send through the mail. It's gonna be heavy as shit.
It's over 20 pounds. I have weighed it.
It's a Matryoshka doll of safes and keys. Oh my god.
It's horrifying to move. It is very heavy. Weighs over 20 pounds. And my plan was, I'm going to send this to you, and then I'm going to sell you the combination so you could get your money back. So I would end up equal. That was the idea. I'd slowly sell you parts of the combination, then you'd open it and a fucking boatload of keys would pour out, and then it would be great. It'd be hilarious. It'd be a win for me. That was the plan.
I'm so mad this never happened.
That was the plan.
How much would you have charged for the combination numbers?
Oh, I didn't figure that out. I think I'd do one at a time, and I'd be like 10, and it's a very specific combination. I was going to leave clues. I filled it with Garfield cards, too. A bunch of Garfield collectible cards. It was the whole thing. It's 20 pounds of disaster, but then the world entered a pandemic. Nobody could go outside. So I had this safe just in the corner of my room, this 20-pound bullshit safe, just for weeks.
And then you had to move house?
And then I had to move. And I had to physically move this 20-pound safe. I've definitely lost at this point. I still have the safe.
So that turned into you facing yourself.
Oh,
when you
absolutely.
were trying to face me.
Yeah, 100% blew up in my face. I didn't predict a pandemic happening. Really set me back.
I know you have flyers for a Chinese restaurant in town.
Oh, those are hidden. I was gonna call you Jake for some reason. I don't know.
Please don't. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do that.
That would have been bad.
Why would you do that?
That would be an insult.
I thought we were friends. Come on.
We are friends. Do you remember? This is a completely random detour. Gavin, do you remember when you helped me with the Spike Lee thing with Jake?
How did I help?
I convinced somebody I'm friends with that they were going to interview Spike Lee in Minecraft. And I said he was like doing the rounds, and you guys were going to do an interview with him too. And so I had you tweet at him, "Good luck with your interview," and to really sell it.
Yep, I do remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was all bollocks.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I had a fake Spike Lee, and then it was a whole thing, and I pretended that there was like a voice issue, and that's why he couldn't hear Spike Lee, because I don't know Spike Lee, so I couldn't get him involved in this. And then I had the Spike Lee leave the middle of the interview, and then told him that it was because Spike Lee was offended by one of the questions, and he changed his gamer tag to "Sorry Spike Lee" to like try to amend. I paid for the change. I feel like that's important to say. I paid for both the change and the change back. I said the only way to appease the situation would be if you showed you were sorry by changing your name. He also filmed an apology video.
All right, can I start the show now?
All right, should we start?
Yeah, let's start.
Hold on. Hello and welcome to another episode of kFace. My name is Geoff Ramsey. As you know, this is a podcast about asset and wealth management. With me is Andrew Panton. And Andrew, I believe you had some particular insights into the Canadian ETF market you wanted to elucidate.
What is the ETF? I have a lot of insights. Could you please remind me what the ETF is? And
I think we could just end it right there.
Oh, you want to end it there? Okay.
That makes no sense. On your mark, get set, go. Hello and welcome to another episode.
Jesus Christ.
Andrew!
That was loud. That was very loud, Geoff.
Andrew, was I too loud? Is that, or did you step on me?
I said ready, set, go because you said ready, set, go. I was excited. We haven't done this in a while.
You blasted right off. You gotta think, Geoff, that people might start this podcast as the first thing they did that day. They don't know where they left their volume. They could be sleeping next. Someone could be in bed next to them asleep, and you've just blasted their eardrums.
I will ramp it up in case it's the first thing they do.
Okay.
Could you come in with less energy? Do you want to do that again? Do you want to repeat it?
If you'll shut the fuck up, both
come with less, end with more. Okay.
It's loud.
Right.
Hello and welcome to kFace,
Ooh.
a podcast about friendships and feet and monkeys and baseball cards.
Dude, I got some.
It was weird.
I got some farts sent to me.
I did. I sent you some farts yesterday.
I'm jealous. I didn't get farts. Why didn't I get farts?
Because I wanted you to hear him for the first time on. I want to get your genuine reaction.
What about his?
You
didn't need his genuine reaction?
I respect his reaction less.
Dude, okay. I got a fart because I was talking about how my farts are lame and they all kind of sound like questions. Geoff sent me the ultimate question.
You know,
really?
I'm gonna just go ahead and play you. We've talked about my question fart in previous episodes, I think, and I'll play this one for you right now. This is the question fart of all question farts, I think. Here we go. Hopefully you can hear it. It's ponderous, as if to say.
What is the context?
It's like you were doing a task that you were enjoying, and someone said your name, and you're like, yes.
You know, not all farts are created equal, and I thought I would play a couple that are like, here's one from just the other night. And it's going to be hard for you to hear, but there's going to be the slightest sound of like compressed air, like psst. That's the fart, but you can hear my frustration at the end of it, I think, because I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I held it to find my phone to then put it up to my butt, and then it happened. And so I just want you guys to know, because I realize when we professionals, whether we're comedians or musicians, nobody puts the outtakes, right? You don't hear hear the finished album. You don't hear all the hours in the recording studio that you just threw in the fucking trash. So here's me at 3 a.m. trying to catch gold, like golden anus, and falling a little bit short. So here, I hope this plays here. Free birds. Oh, wait, wrong one. That's funny. I didn't have these in order. So,
you had time to prep.
I did.
That one was labeled Freebirds.
It wasn't there. Well, anyway, how about this? We're just going to go through the farts, and then I'll tell you which one was. All right, here we are. It's a beast. It's not loud enough. I'll have to boost it and get back to you. The Freebirds one is, it's where you can start to hear my family getting sick of me.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's just a good ass fart. I just said that to Gavin. Fart. Hold on.
How did you not organize these at all?
I didn't organize them nearly as
Your
well.
farts are not filed properly. They're just all in a bag.
I know. Hold on. Free birds.
Yes, you did that one.
I didn't finish it. You can't hear. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was Emily and Millie being disgusted by me.
I sensed it.
I got one of Millie doing homework the other day. Let me find that one real fast. Well, see, I hadn't had time. I thought Gavin pushed me into the fart conversation before.
Sorry, I was really excited about that.
No, I understand. How about biology homework? That's me helping Millie with her biology homework.
It's like a weird poetry.
If anyone in your family hears you just describe the moment, they know a fart's coming.
Oh, I think this might be me shitting myself.
SUV fart.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
the one
That's the
that
one. Here,
sounds like-
I'll play it again. It's perfect. Just get real quick.
SUV fart.
It really sounds like someone getting rear-ended.
Yeah, that's well, it was my shorts getting rear-ended by me. Yeah, that was a wet one. It was a messy duty. I had to immediately wash those shorts.
So you were in an SUV? You were in the car when that happened?
Yeah, I started labeling my farts for you because you suggested it, and so now I try to put a little head and tail on all my farts, and then I like try to give some context to what's going on in the world. Like we were eating Freebirds for dinner when I did the Freebirds fart.
You put a little too much tail on that last one.
Oh man, it was way too much tail.
So I was sitting at my desk since the last time we spoke, and there's some stuff happening out my window. There were a bunch of cops, there were a bunch of people, something had happened outside. And so I kind of walked away for a minute. I was watching from my window, and I saw all these people, a lot of cops, a lot of people, and I noticed this woman with 2 bags. And she like kind of walked past the cop, and I thought, that's interesting. This seemed, something might be happening here. What's in those bags? It was like a mini investigation. I was like, where's she going? What's she gonna do? So I was watching her, and she walked past the cop. Then she started walking down a little bit, and she went up this little hill, and I could see it's the back of a business, and they have like a grass parking lot. I'm like, that's also weird. Is she planning the bags? Like, what's in the bags? What's gonna happen? And she keeps walking a little bit more, and then all of a sudden she takes her pants down and goes into a deep squat, and I'm now watching this homeless woman pee. That was my day.
Oh my God.
I was shocking. It went from like, is this a mystery? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Oh God, that woman's peeing. I didn't want to see this.
What was your reaction?
That was my reaction. Oh God, I didn't want to see this. It was a side profile. I couldn't see anything, but I could see the act. It was not good. I did not anticipate.
This is perfect for something for me. I love this. This is great.
You love a homeless peeing story?
No. It goes right into the peeing perv. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great.
This was not premeditated. This was not a good event in my life, but there's a payoff to this, which is amazing. So I watched the pee, and that was terrible. And so then an hour later, like an ambulance shows up, and I'm like, well, what's going on now? And so I'm looking at the ambulance, and then I noticed the back of the business door open that the person peed in the line of. And I'm just watching this person with a garbage bag over their head, and they're walking down the steps, and I'm just watching saying, she's gonna walk and pee. That woman's gonna walk through pee. And she absolutely walked through pee. I felt so bad. It was like watching a horror movie and not being able to yell at the characters. There's nothing I could do to communicate. Don't step through that. She totally
You could have yelled.
Well, that'd be weird. What, am I going to just yell from my balcony? The pee!
Well, yeah,
No way.
What would you have yelled if you'd have had slightly more warning?
I think I just would have yelled pee. I would have yelled, hey, pee, pee.
That wouldn't have helped anyone.
How could I have?
You're not describing anything. You just sound like a madman.
Yeah, but sometimes when you describe, people don't know. There's a lot of people. They're gonna look at me. You think, like, I don't know. I don't think I could have helped. I had like a 5-second window.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I would do in the moment, but I don't think the moment would happen because I wouldn't be a peeping Andrew from the beginning.
You don't, if there's an ambulance outside your window, you do not peek at the ambulance?
You weren't looking at the ambulance, you were looking at a homeless lady peeing in the back alley.
I didn't know first of all, it's the back of a business, not a back alley. This was a very public area. Second of all, that's not what I wanted. I thought I was getting a mystery, Geoff. I thought this was going to be a good mystery.
You got a mystery and you solved it. The mystery of is Andrew a peeping Tom? Yes.
No. You know what? I didn't expect to get slandered by Geoff, which I should have. That's foolish on my part.
Slander.
But this reminds me of something. Watch this, Gavin. I thought giving me time is dangerous, and I had time since we last recorded this. Geoff, say something slanderous about me. Call me out once again.
Andrew, I think
face. See what I just did there? I just fucking weaponized our show name against
Yeah, that's genius.
whenever we need to. But weaponize the show name. Why haven't we been doing this?
If you extended the first word in our show name for like 10 seconds, would it be a 10-second bleep?
I don't think so. Well,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think...
That was a creative decision. I don't know.
I think if it's followed by face, it would have to be.
Face.
Yeah, that was bleep.
That's. I think you probably. I think this. Hold on.
Your mic.
Face? Yeah, I don't think my mic cut out.
I didn't hear anything. I
got bleeped already. I got bleeped before. God damn it. But you really got to put the work in. If you listen to Face, you deserve it because you put some effort into getting there.
Yeah.
Congratulations, your reward is you get to listen to a really funny dude and a British guy and a piss fetish kid.
Fuck, God damn it. Slow. I just got 2 fucks off. Shit. I gotta be quick on the draw now.
Hey, should we stop so we can start again?
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
All right. Well, Gavin, I think you had asked to do the outro this week, so go for it.
Oh, dude, thanks for watching Face. Andrew, final thoughts?
Don't have any. Keep up with it, Gavin. Take us to the end.
I realized I said watching. Did I say watching or listening?
I wasn't really listening.
You said watching. He wasn't listening.
Back to you, Andrew.
Not back to me. Back to you. I don't want to close this
Over
week.
to Geoff.
Face.
Well, you got to say all the subscribers.
Oh, right. And thanks for watching. No, we didn't do that. Thank you for listening to Face. I think that you have the makings of. I think that maybe we've all been looking at you the wrong way, and we've been like Gavin and I. We've been taking you the wrong way. I've always taken you as this like happy-go-lucky, really talented, good-natured, good-hearted, too funny for his own good, too mischievous for his own good kid who kind of practices a chaotic good malevolence upon his own life, but also the people around him, but in an endearing way.
I'm waiting for the turn.
However, I think you have the makings of like let's say like a Krampus or
what?
What's another evil entity?
I did not expect
boogeyman type creature, right?
Krampus?
Like Candyman. Think of like a horror movie villain, like like maybe
Hitler.
Well,
No,
I think less.
I really should have blocked that one. That's a regrettable miss.
I wasn't going that way. But yeah, I think more like the thing that people are scared of in the night. For instance, you're the kid that the barber was so scared of because he's so intimidated by you and your forceful sports talk. He tried to go the one place a 20-year-old man would not follow him, an old folks home. It's anathema to youth to go to an old folks home. It was the only place he could think of to stay in business and hide, and you still found him. Or maybe the person who lived in that house before you or lived next door was a little boy who had a pet hamster that his dad gave him. And then his dad died in a plane crash. And all he has to remember his dad by is this hamster. And the hamster got out one night and he's been going and setting traps trying to find his poor hamster that reminds him of his dead dad. And every time you find it, you throw it on the pile or you smash it or you do in some way stop this poor kid from reconnecting with his dead father. Or what if you, this poor Chinese food restaurant is getting fined by the local authorities because they keep flyering neighborhoods and they don't. And they keep saying, no, it's this Andrew. It's Andrew. It's the name that people whisper in the dark. It's Andrew. And they're like, Andrew doesn't exist. He's not real. What if there's a poor homeless woman who's like, every time I go to the bathroom, there's this pair of eyes staring at me through a window. It's Andrew. What if you are Andrew the boogeyman?
I prefer Andrew from the Block. I think that was a better. I'd rather have that title.
Sure.
I will say I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what you're saying.
That was a torrent.
It was a lot. The other thing I feel bad about this with is I get mistaken for a different Andrew Panton. A decent
There's two
amount.
Andrew Pantons?
There's way more. I'm in a group chat of just Andrew Pantons, which is great. It's me and 5 other Andrew Pantons. It's a very supportive group. It's
Do you all
very
look
nice.
the same?
How did you meet each other?
Yeah, you would think this sounds like an idea I would come up with, but I just got invited in a messenger group to a chat called Andrew Panton, and it was me and 5 other Andrew Pantons, and that's the only similarity. We all have the same name.
But what do you have in common, though?
Nothing.
Aside from
we
having
have
the same name.
It's just like, hey, this is kind of funny, and it's like, yeah, that is funny, and then it's not an active chat, but there's some communication. I check in.
It's like you have access to a parallel universe where you can see other versions of you and how they turned out. Like, they're all you, but they've all gone on different paths. Like, who's the most successful Andrew Panton, judging by the chat?
That's the thing. I feel really bad about whenever I pop up in any way on the internet, because there is another Andrew Panton who is way more accomplished than I am.
What has he done?
This is what he's done. This has caused some problems in my life. He was Susan Boyle's original vocal coach. He taught her how to sing. That's what the top Andrew Panton has done, as far as what I'm aware of. That's the greatest accomplishment of any Andrew Panton. And it has caused problems.
That, to be fair, is way cooler than anything you've done.
Yeah.
100% cooler. He does like musical stuff. He teaches like a program in England. Like, he's very accomplished.
Why were you in a lift with Stevie Spiels?
It was just a coincidence. I was just in the same elevator with him. I was there for I was in Vancouver for something.
Yeah, do you want to give us the whole spiel?
I'll give it abbreviated. I'll give like the highlights. I was in an elevator with him, and there was an issue, and I felt like he was being a jerk. And so when I got to my floor, I hit all of the buttons because he had to go to a higher floor, and I ran out. Mm-hmm. That was about it. I will say a second thing that made me very proud is like 4 years later, that exact scenario played out on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry does that to somebody. Yeah, the exact same thing happened. I was like, holy shit, I did that. I lived that ridiculous moment.
What did Steven Spielberg yell at you as you ran out the door at the elevator?
Did he yell something at me?
Yeah,
I don't remember that part.
You told me he yelled, "Hey, you, come here."
I don't remember that. I guess he did.
I want the name Andrew Panton or whatever we end up calling you, like Andrew the Piss Perv or whatever it is. I want it to live beyond your lifespan.
The Piss Perv. I feel like myths and legends are never man-made. They always come after. You can't try and become a myth. You are just mythical.
I think if I put my foreskin in my ass, I would become. That'd be a man-made. I think I'd get credit for that. That's never happening.
Interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that from. Yeah, randomly pulled that one.
Can we cut that entire conversation from the last episode just so that it was more insane than it was?
No, fuck you. No.
Andrew, where would you get that from? That's so
Why
weird.
is he always talking about his foreskin?
Jeff talked about that for like 20 minutes. You're just cutting, like, that's
What?
the whole episode.
I don't remember any of that.
Fucking, we're not having a 20-minute episode.
You're being a real face here, Andrew.
If one episode is suddenly 20 minutes long, you don't think people are going to think that's suspicious?
That's called facing ourselves. We deliberately sabotage all the good from our last episode just to make you look weird in this one.
When I told the peace story, I really didn't. It's not worth the juice. Was not worth the impact of this. This is a thing that is stuck around. The story wasn't. Geoff, I don't call you the fucking grill master. You told an average barbecue story, and we let it go. We let it pass.
Oh, speaking of the grill, can I give you guys an update?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's working fine. Yeah,
Great.
things are good. Yeah,
Good. You got the thing.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah, everything's good.
Good to know.
You're not pissed off that it's a floor model?
No, it's fine. It still cooks the same.
Great. I'm happy for you.
You got to introduce the next faces. P-Boy and Grill Master.
The worst duo.
We should get Robert Rodriguez to make a kids movie about us. God damn. I had no idea when you divulged your piss obsession that it was going to turn into such material.
See what you've done here, Andrew. You've given him a nibble, and he's taken it, and he's reeled you in. Well, I guess you gave him a nibble. So what you got to do around Geoff is never let on. Like the fact that he knows that it's affecting you.
Yeah.
That will last. It won't last forever because his memory's shit, and he'll just drift away and forget it eventually. But that will last at least 6 episodes, I assume.
It's a good point you bring that up, Gavin, and I feel like it's a perfect time in the episode to remind everyone that Trevor Collins comes on his own face.
God damn.
That doesn't bode well for me. We have a shirt that came out a few weeks ago at this point, but we have a shirt with our show name on it. And when we were introduced the shirt, I suggested that we make a fuck hat. We have a hat that just says fuck on it. I think this is a great idea. I was shot down for reasons I don't understand. I think it's a hit in the making. If only maybe see the light of day, if only it could be seen, maybe opinions could be swayed. Eric was having none of it.
I think it's a good hat idea though. I stick by it.
It's a great hat idea. There's more to this story. It's a great hat idea. I appreciate people should absolutely reach out, demand a fuck hat. I thought I could maybe turn opinions here. I didn't realize that the support would be so large within this group for the fuck hat. Kind of was dead on arrival when I initially pitched it. But I know a guy, and I had a prototype made. I have a prototype fuck hat was made. However, in perfect face fashion, I'm going to post the current result of the prototype.
Yeah.
There were some issues. There are some issues with the fuck hat.
Why is it? It looks like it's in Russian. What happened?
Yeah, I describe
what
it. Looks
the
like,
fuck is that?
It looks like it was burnt. It looks like the text melted.
It looks like it says thucks.
It looks like they embroidered the front, and then at some point the hat got flipped over and started coming in from the back. I don't even know how that's been done.
Yeah, so I know a guy who said he could get a prototype made, and I was like, great, I could try to convince people that this is a great idea. So that's the first prototype. He tried to make that hat.
Look, we have to sell that hat. We have to sell exactly that. I would wear that. That's amazing.
I'm with Gavin. We need 1,000 of that hat. Also,
funniest thing I've ever seen.
Is it possible to get each hat with the large stain on the bill there?
I didn't ask about that. I didn't pay extra for that. It was just there. That's what the prototype looked like. It was, maybe the collateral damage.
Do you ever wonder, Geoff, that like pushing this on Andrew is what is turning him into a supervillain?
Oh, it's sort of like a Mr. Glass type situation, and that's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like you could be causing this entire thing.
Maybe that's my role. I don't know.
I feel like what really Geoff had no involvement in the first thing I would say I did of this nature, like a prank or messing with someone. I don't think he gets credit for that.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is all me. I'll own this one.
Yeah, no, I think your special brand of evil was born from you.
Is it evil if it's funny? If everyone thinks it's funny, is it evil? I don't think so.
That's the
I think
title
we all
of this
had a good
episode.
time.
Is it evil if it's funny?
I don't think, as long as nobody's hurt, I think
so
it's
you're
all
saying
good fun.
Geoff doesn't get the credit. You became P-Boy entirely on your own.
Yeah, I guess that is what I'm saying.
Andrew Panton became
Okay. Trying to get this out.
A
really
Bond
stumbling.
villain, kids nightmare-esque piss fetish aficionado all on his own. He needed no help. Thanks for listening to Face.
Wait a
survived another episode, as
wait
did
a
we.
second.
My name is Geoff Ramsey. With me, as always, Gavin Free and Andrew Panton. I hope you liked the episode. If you did, tell a friend about it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And give us a review on Apple Podcasts if you would intend to. And hey, thanks a lot. And as we always say,
well, I'm Geoff Ramsey.
You keep peeing, and Andrew will keep making face.
Oh, my barbecue is broken. I had to get a floor model. Woe is me. It's a pandemic, and I don't have a barbecue. Oh, boy. Things are rough. Let me tell you about my toenail, but then not talk about it. Too much of a coward. Look at my old goddamn toenail. Ah!
Oh, that was excellent, Andrew. Thank you very much. And I hope the rivers of your future success run as yellow as your fetish.
The episode ended. What are you talking? Why are you still? I thought.
I don't think the episode ended because you bleeped
the outro.
You bleeped all the way through the instruction part.
Well, he was slandering me. What? It's not my fault. Blame Geoff.
Now the audience is going to turn this off and not know what to do to support us.
Like and subscribe. Send her, give us a 5-star review because Andrew will catch you peeing if you don't. Look behind you. It's Andrew.
You smell that in the distance? Geoff is nearby. There's a fucking grill going.
It's the grill monster.
You smell that charcoal? Ah, shit.
It's the smell you smell is the stale urine caked on Andrew's shoes. Stalks you in the night.